You know that feeling when you use a new AI? That little mix of, whoa, this is magic, and, huh? That's it. Well, if you've ever felt that, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to move past the simple chatbots. We're going to build an AI that doesn't just talk, but actually does things for you.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at some new AI tool, the little cursor just blinking back at you, and you're caught between total excitement and a very real fear of unleashing absolute chaos. This is that moment of truth, right before you hand over a real task.
So you start with something simple, something like, hey, reply to John O and confirm coffee for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? You just expect the AI to, handle it.
And what you get back is a perfect email. Seriously, it's friendly, it's worded brilliantly, but it just sits there. It's a draft. It never sent. It never even checked if you were free. So what gives? Well, you weren't talking to an AI agent. You were just talking to a large language model.
And that right there is the wall most of us smack right into. The AI is an almost assistant. To really get why, we need to peel back the curtain a little and look at the basic layer of AI we're all used to, and see exactly where it runs out of road.
So at its core, what most of us just call AI is actually a large language model, or an LLM. Think of GPT-4 or Claude. It's a really simple exchange. You give it a prompt, it gives you back some text. It's an incredible text generator, but that's where its job begins and ends.
And this really highlights its biggest weakness. An LLM by itself is totally passive. It can't click send on your email, it can't peek at your calendar, and it won't remember this conversation next week. It's got a brilliant mind, but it's completely stuck inside its little chat window.
Okay, so if the LLM is trapped in the chat window, how do we get it out into the real world to actually do stuff for us? Well, the answer is understanding that AI isn't just one thing. It's really more of an architecture with 3 distinct layers that work together.
The second layer is something you've probably seen before, workflow automation. Tools like Zapier or Make. They're amazing for connecting different apps with these really simple, rigid rules. If I get a new email with invoice in the subject, then save the attachment to Google Drive. It's just a fixed set of dominoes.
And this slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got the LLM, the brain in a box. It's smart, but totally passive. On the other side, you've got the workflow, the chain of actions. It can act, sure, but it's super fragile and not very smart. It's kind of like a set of IKEA instructions. If one little thing changes or breaks, the whole thing just falls apart.
This is where the real magic happens. The third layer, the AI agent, is the solution to all of this. It combines the brain of that language model with the ability to use tools and take real action. It can think, it can remember, and it can act. This is our digital employee.
So if we're going to hire this new digital teammate, what's it made of? Let's look at its anatomy. First, it needs a brain. That's our LLM. It needs memory, like a knowledge base it can draw from. It needs a set of tools so it can interact with the world, your email, your calendar. And probably most important, it needs instructions from you. You're the manager.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Building a digital employee sounds like something you'd need a team of hardcore engineers for, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Let's actually walk through how you can build your very first one right now in about 10 minutes. Seriously, forget about coding. You do not need a degree in computer science for this. We're going to use a super simple, no-code tool, OpenAI's own official assistant builder, which makes this whole thing incredibly easy. And look, this is literally the whole game plan, just 5 simple steps. First, you just go to the builder and create a new assistant. Then you give it its core instructions. Think of it like its job description. Step 4 is the big one. You give it tools. This is where you grant it skills, like the ability to analyze data or connect to other apps. And finally, you test it out. That's the whole shebang. Now, that third step, the instructions, that's where you really get to be the manager. This is where you define its personality and its rules. Just look at this example. You're not just telling it what to do, you're telling it how to behave, to be reliable, to always check contacts first, and to ask you if it's not sure about something.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. This is a huge shift in how we think about this stuff. We are moving way beyond those rigid, domino-like automations. We are now actually delegating tasks to an assistant that can reason, adapt, and handle problems on its own. That is an absolute game changer.
All right, so you did it. You built your first agent. High five. Now for the really fun part, putting your new digital teammate to work and seeing what it can actually do for you.
Look, we started small, right? Just a simple email agent. But let's zoom out for a second. think bigger. Imagine a CRM agent that logs every new lead and schedules follow-ups all by itself. Or a support agent that can look up customer orders, a scheduling agent that coordinates meetings for your entire team. The principle is exactly the same. If you can write a job description for it, you can probably build an agent for it.
So let's just bring it all together one last time. You've got the LLM, which is the brain that just generates text. You've got the workflow, those fragile IKEA instructions. But when you combine them, you get the AI agent, your thinking, acting digital employee. That's the incredible leap we've just made.
So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you find yourself stuck doing some repetitive, tedious task that you absolutely hate, just stop for a second and ask yourself one simple question. Could an agent handle this for me? Because from now on, the answer to that question is almost always going to be yes.